It's called God's serum. This practice allowed ancient masters to live longer. To some extent, living a spiritually aware life invokes this process, but we must remember that this ritual manifested thousands of years ago for a reason. When we follow the forte of our forefathers, the Reformation practice becomes exponentially more effective, especially in a world where Christian devotion is so widespread. Accept the Bible as an instruction manual for the body, this physical organism we've been given as our holiest of holy temples. What's fascinating is that the Eastern world has retained and transmuted knowledge of the beautiful chrism we all possess. Even the most basic Hindu practices include raising the kundalini and bursting the chakras in ascending order, while abstaining from sex, alcohol, and animal eating. Alcohol, the release of sexual fluids, the consumption of acidic, animal-based foods, riotous living, and hateful, angry, or otherwise non-peaceful attitudes are all detrimental to the cerebrum's beautiful, precious oil. We have 4 brains. The cerebrum is the brain of God. The cerebellum is the man brain, linked to the lower mind. The medulla oblongata is the 3rd brain, in charge of involuntary actions such as breathing. The solar plexus is the 4th brain, and is associated with the lower mind, greed, animalistic behavior, and so on. The total number of nerves in the brain and the solar plexus is 12. This secret reveals the location of the Ark of the Covenant. The Bible depicts the Ark with 2 cherubim and 2 covering angels. This is the cerebrum, which has 2 hemispheres that protect the cerebellum and the inner brain. The Ark of God, whose name is the Lord of Hosts, who sits enthroned between the cherubim that are on it. Samuel chapter 6, verse 2. When the moon is in your sun's sign, a psycho-spiritual germ is created and planted in your solar plexus, the 12-fold nerve cluster behind your stomach. The solar plexus is known as the house of bread due to its proximity to your gut. Bethlehem means house of bread in Hebrew. Virgo governs digestion, which is one of the reasons Christ was born of a virgin. All references to fish and bread in the New Testament refer to the 2,160 years zodiacal axis of time during which this version of the Bible was written, the great age of Pisces, the fish, which is directly opposing Virgo, the virgin of the yearly grains for bread and sustenance. As a result, we have fish and bread, Jesus fish symbols, and bread is eaten as the body of Christ in church ceremonies. It's all astrophysics and astrology. This germ, or seed, initiates the rising of the Christos oil that has accumulated in the sacral plexus. When properly risen, it initiates physical regeneration, blood recycling, and a profound, long-lasting illumination of the inner vision. When the oil seed is successfully returned to the cranium, as heaven awaits the return of the prodigal son, the frequency and vibration increase and the pneumogastric nerve crosses over and connects to the pineal and pituitary glands by the time it reaches the 33rd vertebrae. Jesus was crucified at 33 years old. At the point of crucifixion, Christ's oil illuminates the optic thalamus gland, also known as the light of the world. The oil seed remains in limbo, dead, for 3 days before being resurrected on the 3rd day as the moon exits your sign. This all happens at the 33rd vertebrae. Isn't it strange how everything connects? Jesus' age, the 33 degrees of Freemasonry, 11, 11, 11, and so on. Spiritual illumination. At this point, the oil accelerates in vibration to reach the pineal gland, where all of our millions or billions of dormant brain cells are activated. Our brain operates on the God brain level. This crucifixion multiplies the vibratory frequency of the oil by 1,000, corresponding to the crown chakra's 1,000-petal lotus. The Bible mentions 144,000 people sealed with the Father's name on their foreheads. If you add the number of petals from root to brow from the Hindu chakra system and multiply it by the 1,000-petal crown lotus, you get 144,000. More syncretic beauty. The Christos stimulation is a sheer and natural traditional activation of your profound spiritual self. It will help you remember what you truly are and why you are personified on a deeper level. The knowledge stored in our brain cells emerges alongside the higher faculties of simply existing. Our entire consciousness undergoes metamorphosis. What to do when the moon is in your sun sign is summarized below. Prepare up to 1, 3, or more days ahead of time to welcome the seed with even more purity. The 2.5-day period is the absolute bare minimum. Draw, paint, write, listen to, or create music. Relax. Drink plenty of fluids. Eat only vegan food. Meditate. Devote time to animals. Avoid consuming alcohol. Maintain a peaceful demeanor. Avoid sex or the release of sexual fluids. Avoid excessive eating. Pray. Consider your entire body, including your spinal column, solar plexus, brain, brain stem, pineal, and pituitary glands, preparing for the arrival of the chrism seed in your solar plexus. Visualize your spine intertwined with the kundalini and kundabuffer nerves, the tree of life, ready to carry the seed back to the heavenly cranium. The thalamus can be seen filling with light, which it may do on its own at some point during the 2.5 days. The thalamus is located in the center of the inner brain, between the pineal gland, Joseph, and the pituitary gland, Mary. Recognize the Christ seed as a psycho-spiritual germ that may appear differently to each participant, or only take one form. Practice and spread the word about raising Christ. Enjoy the remarkable activation.